Good morning. Good morning. I pray that you had a wonderful night and that you slept well and you got up this morning with your mind on Jesus. Maybe you got up and said, "This is a day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." Well, whatever greeting you gave to God, I do hope that you included Him this morning. I'd like to talk to you from a topic called teamwork. We need each other. And so often we think that we don't, and sometimes we try to do things all by ourselves. But you just can't do things by yourself. God never intended for us to work alone. He always wanted us to work together. See, in Psalms 133 and 1, he says that. He says how good and pleasant it is when God's people work together in unity. So it's so important that we be concerned with one another. Well, I want to tell you a little short story about this little man. And he had been on a long journey, and then he was on his way through his little town. He was so very hungry, and he didn't have anything. So when he gets to this township, he sees this man, and he asks, "Sir, do you have anything to spare? I'm just so hungry. I've been on a journey, and I haven't had nothing to eat." And the man thought about the situation, about what he had, and he thought about he didn't have much. And he said to the man, "No, sir, I don't have anything to share." Well, the man went along a little bit further, and he came up on a lady, and he said, "Ma'am, I'm so hungry. I've been traveling for a while, and I haven't had anything to eat. Do you have anything that you can share with me?" And the lady looked, and she thought also, "I don't have much." And she said, "I'm sorry, sir. I only have a few little pieces of meat and a few little veggies, and I just can't give it up right now. I'm so sorry." So he went on a little bit further, and he sat under a tree. Well, he could have sat there and felt sorry for himself, but he thought to himself, "Well, I got this pot, and I got some water, and I just put a rock in it." Start staring, and hopefully maybe I can make a little rock soup or something. I don't know. So anyway, he began to make this little soup with the rock and the water. And a gentleman came by that said he didn't have much, said, "Well, what you doing?" And he says, "Well, I'm just stirring my rock in the water." He said, "You have a rock?" He said, "Yeah, I have a rock in the pot, and I'm stirring it." But the man thought about it, and he thought to himself, "Surely I can give him some." He said, "Well, look, wait a minute. I do have a few potatoes that maybe you could put in there." He said, "Oh, sir, thank you so very much. If you could spare a couple of potatoes, I would surely appreciate it." So the man goes and gets the potatoes, and he brings them back, and he puts them in the pot. So now the man has in the pot, he has rock and some potatoes. And then a lady comes by, the same lady that didn't have much to offer, looked in the pot and said to him, "Now, what you got in your pot?" He said, "Well, I have a rock and a couple of potatoes and water, and I'm stirring and making me a soup." She thought about it for a minute. She said, "Well, I do have a couple of carrots and maybe an onion that we can put in your pot." "Oh, ma'am, thank you so much," the man said, so happy and so grateful. So she goes off and she gets the carrots and the onion, drops it in the pot. And then another man comes by and he said, "What you got in your pot?" He said, "Well, I have a rock, I have a couple of potatoes, got some carrots, and an onion." By this time, it started smelling pretty decent because, an onion will make anything smell good. The man said, "Well, it seems like me, you get ready to make a little stew. So all you need now is a little piece of meat." So the gentleman goes back and he brings some meat and he drops it in the pot. Oh, my, 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 my. Now it is smelling some kind of good. The man has a rock. He has some potatoes, carrots, onions, and some meat in the pot. And now things are smelling right. So after he cooks it down for a little while and get it all in place, he says to everybody, "Come have some food. Come have some soup with me. Let's share it, because I could not done it all by myself. It took you, and I appreciate every bit of your help So they shared this nice soup. So they all sat down and they all ate soup. That's teamwork. A man that started off with nothing ended up with a whole pot of soup. And not only did he have soup, but he had soup that he gave to others. So whenever you begin to work as a team, you see you're not the only person that benefit from that. Everybody benefit when you work as a team. So I say to you today, let's do some teamwork. Let's work together that we can make this place a better place, that we can make people's life a better place for them to live in this world, that they will see that we care because we are a team. We're a team that love the Lord, and we're a team that love people. So, hey, keep up the teamwork.